Hi, hello friends. After a long time, some of my friends are asking about what is school readiness program. So today I'm going to discuss with my friend Rakesh about school readiness program. So, hi Rakesh, how are you?
Hi Neeraja, I'm good. How are you?
So Rakesh, today I want some questions about school readiness program.
You
So
have
do
some
you want
questions?
to
Okay.
clarify my doubts and all these things?
Sure, please.
Shall we start?
Yes.
So, as actually, what is school readiness program, Rakesh?
So this school readiness program, as the name suggests, it is getting children ready for school in every way possible, emotionally, socially, physically, and cognitively. So that is school readiness program.
So, okay, what skills or abilities do you feel were most important for a child entering to school?
Okay. So when a child enters a school, the school environment is very structured, right? So they expect you to follow certain instructions, simple instructions, and the child should be able to have basic self-help skills and emotional regulation, which is more important.
So,
So
what is
because the
like
child is
emotional
away,
regulation means? Like, in what way?
yeah, that's what I was going to explain. When the child is away from home, the child should be able to feel comfortable in the school environment. It should not be feeling emotionally overwhelmed because it is away from parents or from the comfort of home, and the child should not feel alone in a school environment with all the new friends and teachers, adults. Yeah, that is what we mean by emotional regulation.
So children should ready while going to school emotionally and everything he want to develop before going to school, right?
Yes, that is right.
Okay. So, do you think school readiness is only about academic skills like reading, writing, numbers? Why not?
No, I don't think the school readiness program is just about numbers or reading. It covers, as I said, emotional development, social development. The child, when he or she goes to the school, they need to be able to communicate with their peers, with their friends. Like social behavior, need to be appropriate, like sharing, taking turns while talking, or being considerate towards each other. So, and independence, attention, all this needs to be developed. So, I don't think it's just about numbers or reading.
So, it at what age it starts actually this independent and all these things actually.
See, child always want to be independent. By default, there is a tendency in the child to become independent, to strive towards independence in every way. Physically, emotionally, socially, and cognitively, the child wants to be independent. And if you see, the child starts crawling, rolling over, and trying to stand up and walk on its own. All this is, signs that the child want to become physically independent. So
Okay.
it's not that you are trying to do anything for the child. You are not trying to make the child walk. The child wants to walk. So
Yeah.
similarly, the child wants to talk. The child wants to express its feelings, wants to communicate with others. So all these things are there. Uh, and the child, right from the birth, I think the child starts to strive towards independence. And of course, it is at different levels. As the child grows, it becomes independent at different levels: emotional independence, financial independence, spiritual independence.
Okay.
Yeah.
What challenges do children commonly face when transitioning into formal schooling?
Yeah, good question. So when children go to a school, the most children, most teachers complain that the child is not behaving appropriately, or know, the child is not sitting in the classroom or not paying attention. So I think these are the challenges: not paying attention, not able to get adjusted to that new school environment, not able to follow the instructions of the teacher. Yeah, I think it can be very challenging for a child.
So we can prepare all these things in the school readiness program. So grabbing attention and all these things, like giving attention to the teacher and all these things.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Does it
So there are a
help?
lot of activities that we can do with the children to develop attention and to develop sitting tolerance and to listen to instructions and follow the instructions. And it did not be, I think even the school teaching pedagogy needs to change the way we teach. It should not be, for especially for young children who are 6 years, 7 years. Um, the activities should be there. It's not only formal instructions that you're giving and expecting the child to follow the instructions. So it should be activity-based learning, which the
Okay.
teacher has to follow.
Okay. So, do you feel children need structured preparation before entering school? Please, can you explain the?
Yes, yes. Structured preparation helps because in a school environment, everything is structured, right? From the timetable, curriculum, textbooks, all these are structured, right? So when there is a structured kind of approach in the school readiness program as well, we make a transition from flexible approach to a structured approach, and children will not feel, unsafe or low on confidence. So because of the structured approach, they feel safe and confident and familiar with school-like expectations.
No, actually, in some schools, structured means in what way? Is a curriculum is a structured, right? Your
Everything is structured in a school environment. Everything is structured, and the children are not used to this structured kind of environment.
yeah.
They grow up in a very flexible environment. Like suppose the home environment. You don't have any timetable. You don't say that the child has to eat at this time or you read at this time, write at this time. The child is free to do what the child wants to do. But once the child goes to a school, everything is structured. You expect the child to do this at this point of time. So
Yes.
if you can do this, structured, even at home or at some learning center, through this school readiness program, you can help the child to transition from this, unstructured to a structured environment.
Okay. In your review, what gaps exist if a child enters school without a readiness program?
So in my view, if a child enters a formal kind of a setting, like a school, and the child is not ready for such environment, the child may feel unsafe. The child may feel overwhelmed, and the child may exhibit temper tantrums, and the child may don't want to go to school. All these things can happen, and there could be a lot of academic pressure on the child. So expectation is there from the child to read and write right from the beginning, but if the child is not able to do that, then it's a very challenging thing. So I think that's the gap. If the child doesn't go through a school readiness program, that gap needs to be breached before the child goes to school.
So the gap should be in the higher class students also is there, right? This.
Definitely, yes, yes. We see this gap, even attention issues, behavioral issues, emotional issues, I mean, socialization issues in elder children as not just in the young children, but it's happening in even higher grade children cases. Yeah.
What changes can be noticed in the child after going through the school readiness program?
Well, after going through the school readiness program, one thing is the child is ready for the school. The child can follow simple instructions, able to communicate with peers and teachers, and carry himself or herself confidently, manage emotions, and adapt to routines and structure. So I think these are the changes we can. observe in children after going through a school readiness program. So they are more adapted to the school environment.
Okay. How important do you think social emotional readiness is compared to academic readiness?
Yeah, I think that there cannot be any compromise on social, emotional readiness because it is the foundation for learning. So before you teach something, you need to have a bonding with the with the child. So teacher before giving instructions, uh, he or she needs to develop a bonding between the child and himself or herself, so that the child is able to receive what you're saying, what you're giving. So I think that connection needs to be formed. So
Yeah.
that is through social and emotional readiness.
So connection is very important, right? But nowadays in the schools, children and teacher bonding is not that much, I think so. And I'm also one of the parents, so I'm also just thinking about all these things. So
Yes, yes, that is true. We need to understand from the teacher's perspective as well why the teachers are not making any effort to bond with the child or make connection with the child. Um, they too are going through a lot of stress at the workplace, in the school. They could be under pressure from the management, from the parents. Parents are expecting that their children start reading or writing at a very early age. I have seen parents of children of 3 years old. They want their child to be writing and reading, which is actually, I mean, inappropriate, developmentally inappropriate, because before the child reads or writes, they need to develop the skills to be able to read or write, right? For example, for writing, they need to develop fine motor skills. And for reading, they will be able to develop visual and auditory discrimination skills.
yeah.
And they need to be motivated towards these activities through lot of, nursery rhymes, singing, storytelling, through lot of proper props. I mean, only then the child will be able to read or write. It will take some time. So, yeah, I think teachers are under pressure. They have deadlines to meet, and because of all this, they don't find time to connect with the child, which is very sad.
Yeah, that's why nowadays children have no emotional bond and all these things also. They are even these children are not connecting to the parents also. This is the reason I think so, right?
Yes, that is.
What type of learning methods are followed in the school readiness program?
So usually in a school readiness program, we follow experiential learning method and playway method and such methods. So as a Montessori educator, I integrate Montessori philosophies, principles, and practices in my, learning center. So children are, encouraged to be independent and learn on their own, and they have the freedom to choose what they want to learn, and nothing is forced upon the child. So, of course, the focus is on developing foundational literacy and numeracy, but the way we do it is through Montessori principles and practices, like using Montessori materials, sensorial learning. We give experiences through for the senses,
Yeah.
um, so that the children have this basic understanding of what the concept is. Uh,
Even it is a
only when
structured
we
environment also. It's a prepared environment. We want.
True, true. There's a prepared environment where children can explore and choose what they want to do, and they can spend some time using their senses. They can explore the material and develop the concept. So that is the idea.
Okay. So I have some other doubts about private tuition classes and school readiness program also. So shall I start?
Yeah, yeah. Please, please.
What do you think is the primary purpose of a school readiness program? How is the different from the purpose of private tuition?
So the primary purpose of school readiness program is holistic development of the child. The child needs to be ready for the school in every way possible. So we ensure that the child is independent in learning so that the child doesn't have to depend on textbooks or from teachers. Of course, the child can always depend on books for knowledge, uh, but uh, we don't encourage the children to be investing their time, in again listening to instructions, um, doing some exercises just to pass some exams.
Yeah.
Because in a school environment, the child is sitting in a classroom listening to a lecture or doing some activities, and then we don't want the child to be doing the same thing in the tuition class as well after school. The
Yeah.
child has to be applying what the child has learned that day in the school, at home, or at some other place, but not doing the same thing again. So I think this private tuition classes, their focus is more on helping the child finish their homeworks. Homeworks are given for the children to, test themselves whether they have understood what they have learned in the classroom or not, or for as an extension, as a practice, or maybe for parents to know what their children are learning in the school. Homeworks are given. But if the parents are sending their children to a private tuition classes just to finish the homeworks, then I don't think it is serving the purpose. So maybe the tuition teacher is helping the child, again spoon feeding,
Yeah.
and there is no original thinking there, and no independent learning happening, right? It's spoon feeding.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think this is the difference. In a school readiness program, uh, the emphasis is on independent learning. In a private tuition class, it's all spoon feeding and preparing the child, developing a few academic skills so that the child performs well in exams. Yes.
Yeah. So actually, can parent can monitor these tuition classes also if it needs, like how the children is reading, writing, and all this, how much they learn, and all these things in the classroom, whatever the thing.
Yes. Say if parents have time, they will not be sending their children to tuition classes. They would be investing some time, at home, and just checking with the children what they what how their school, I mean, how was the school experience today. You could ask your child, but many parents don't have that time to ask their children, so they simply send the child to the tuition classes.
But I have some experience about with other parents actually. So they are sending to the tuition to their children. So they are not monitoring about the academic studies and all these things. So after that, after some other time, when they came to me and asked all these questions and all these things, that child is not up to the mark. Even they don't know how to spell sight words also.
So despite sending the child to tuition classes, they have not developed your saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it depends, if there are again 10 to 20 children in a tuition class, then the teacher will not be able to give individual attention to children, to every child. So obviously the same thing is happening. Whatever is happening in the school, the same thing is happening after school, and the children are made to sit and listen to instructions from morning till night. And
Same pattern is working. School and tuition both are same pattern, right?
I
Nothing
think
is.
it will lead to a lot of stress in children, and they may not want to go to school anymore or learn. They will develop aversion towards learning, that I'm sure.
Yeah.
They will hate learning if these things continue.
Yeah.
They're only learning, not doing anything, not implementing. There is no fun in learning. If there is
Yeah.
no fun, why would you want to do something?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Even we also don't, without fun, we are also don't leave, right?
Exactly, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay. How does the school readiness program address social and emotional development differently from tuition classes?
Yeah, in school readiness program at our learning centers, we encourage group learning, group interaction. They play together, and there is guided interaction. We are there as facilitators to guide interaction to happen, and we give them a lot of activities, which will develop their social and emotional, skills.
Yeah.
So that is happening in school readiness program, but in private tuition classes, I think it's more of mechanical learning, drill-based learning. Uh, yeah, and same thing. If a student is talking to the another teacher, another student next to him or her, the teacher may say, "Stop talking, keep quiet." So if the
Yeah.
same thing happens in the school and same thing happens in the tuition class, where there is social and emotional development, there is no social emotional development.
Even if we are not listening to the child, they are not able to speak properly their doubts or academics, anything, what they want to share. If we don't listen, they don't share with us. So
True,
their
true.
emotional development also not
Yeah.
developed.
It's not. It's not. Because communication is always two-way. It's not one way, right? Communication should happen between two people. Uh, if the teacher is always talking, giving instructions, and the student doesn't have an opportunity to ask questions, clarify doubts, or the child may not feel safe to ask questions because sometimes teachers may not know the answers because children are really smart. They ask so many questions that the teachers have not prepared for, are not prepared for. So
Yeah.
sometimes teachers may belittle a child, purposefully by, teasing the child or something so that the child doesn't get up and ask a question because it feels embarrassed, among its peers. So this is one kind of tactics which some teachers may follow this, but not all teachers. But it's a very, very bad approach. I mean, belittling a child, teasing a child so that the child doesn't get up again and ask questions. It should
Yeah.
not be the way,
Yeah,
right?
it's true. Yeah, it's true. So, how do teaching methods in private tuition classes usually differ?
So you must have seen this private tuition classes, right? How do they do? They have worksheets, drill-based learning, structured instructions, repetition. They may want you to, do some uh, solve some problems in math and keep solving it again and again so that you become thorough with the steps. So it's again mechanical kind of learning. You don't know. For example, in algebra, you have a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab, right? And if you don't know the how it came, how this formula was developed, um, then you're just mugging up the formulas and just rote learning, right? You're just using the formulas, implementing, but you don't know where to implement this formula and how did this formula was derived, what for what purpose, and that's why even in mathematics there are a lot of interesting stories. Arithmetic and algebra is interlinked, but people think arithmetic is different, algebra is different, geometry is different. Everything is interlinked. You can have this a plus b the whole square in a geometrical form, and it is arithmetic number. You input numbers, then it's arithmetic. So everything is linked. So all these things children need to be exposed to.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
So I think this is the difference, teaching method. In school readiness program, we tell them stories of how things were developed and why things were developed, and we encourage the child to think, right? And uh, we encourage the child to develop problem solving skills. All these life skills are developed, decision making skills.
Yeah.
So yes.
How do children's stress levels or enjoyment of learning differ between the two settings?
Yeah, in school readiness program, we always focus on what is appropriate for the child, developmentally appropriate. And we also take into consideration the child's learning pace. And we don't force anything on the child. Only if the child is interested, we offer that concept or learning. to the child. If the child is not interested at that point, then we'll how we can make it interesting, or so that the child is able to, you know, accept it.
Yeah.
We don't force anything. But in private tuition classes, I think everything is forced upon the child. Whether the child likes it or not, whether the child wants to do it or not, they are forced to do it. I mean, even they may resort to physically, punishing the child for not doing homework or for not following the instructions. I think that will lead to a lot of stress in the child. If such everything is forced upon the child, obviously the child has no freedom to choose, make choices, to make decisions. Then I think there is a lot of frustration built up, and it causes stress.
They are not able to do anything confidently because
Exactly.
these
There's no
punishments.
confidence. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like robots,
Yeah. They
machines.
are. Yes.
No, with no feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, it's true. What type of skills does a school readiness program aim to build for long term learning?
For long-term learning, I think the most important skill that you need is motivation,
Okay.
interest. I think it is not very easy to develop motivation in reading or writing or numbers. So I think that motivation needs to be developed because I don't see many adults reading these days. I mean, some may be reading newspapers, some may be reading some books, but not many adults read books. Most of the adults my age or my seniors or my youngsters, um, uh, though they keep scrolling on the phone,
Yes, it's true. Even reading
reading,
also on tabs and phones only nowadays.
yes, and reading for knowledge, reading for expanding the mind's imagination, all these things are not happening. Or writing for expressing oneself is not happening. Sometimes we may write some formal letters, emails, but we don't write journals, we don't keep journals. Some may keep, but not all. And I think uh, lifelong learning is about keeping your mind open to things, having open-mindedness, and be open to knowledge, to be willing to receive knowledge from every person you meet in your daily life. I think that's lifelong learning for you. Learning doesn't happen only through textbooks or some books or by attending some courses. It is happening everywhere around us. So only thing we need to keep our mind open, all the senses attentive. Uh, we don't pay attention to many things in our daily life. Most of the things just pass by without us paying attention. So I think, yes, we need to develop attention, we need to develop independence, motivation, interest, and emotional regulation, cooperation, problem solving, teamwork. All these things are important for lifelong learning. I think all these skills can be developed in a, you know, in an environment where children are respected and where they have freedom to choose what they want to do, and their independence is respected. So the teacher should restrain themselves from spoon feeding. Teacher or the parent for that matter, they should restrain themselves from spoon feeding. So only then we can see lifelong learning happen in a child.
Okay. So we should have to motivate the children whenever they need, right?
Yeah, I mean, uh, if we are motivated in whatever we do,
Yeah.
if we are motivated, I think even children will be motivated, right? We should be role models to children. We should be active and keep ourselves interested in many things. So only then when the child is exposed to different things, Only then they will know what their interest is, so they can make their choices better. So keep their options open. We should not enforce anything on the child, impose anything on the child. You become this, you become that.
So we can motivate about our childhood also, right? Our studies and our childhood with
You
them.
can tell your stories. You don't have to be, I mean, just tell your stories, how you grew up
Yeah,
and about your family, all your struggles, all these stories you can narrate to the child.
just like examples
Yes,
how we
yes,
done all the
you should,
things.
you should
Yeah.
share your life stories.
Yes. Private tuition classes. Is the child more active or passive? Why?
What do you think? Whether the child is active or passive in a private tuition class?
I don't
From
think
our
they are
discussion,
both.
from our discussion so far, what do you think?
So
Is the
actually,
child active?
children will like
See,
time pass.
active means
They
active.
do time pass in the tuition. I think so.
No, no. Active means they are actively involved in the learning process. So it's not
I
just they are
don't think
listening
so.
to
In the
instruction.
tuition, children will not actively participate because whole the morning to evening they are studying in the school and again coming back to the tuition. They are not showing interest in studies
Yeah. So
because they need
obviously
some physical activity to calm
passive.
down our energies.
True.
And again, we'll get back to studies and all these things.
Yes, we all need movement. See, sitting in front of a laptop for long hours is not good for health. Similarly, sitting in the classroom for a long period, it's not good. You need to have breaks. I think after every period they need to have a uh, break where children can run and play for some time. Even in the classroom, it doesn't have to be always facing the blackboard and listening to some lecture. It can be children doing things on themselves. It can be in the open ground. Classroom
Yeah.
can be in the open ground. All those things can be planned out.
In our childhood, under the trees, we studied actually. Sometimes classrooms have been changed, this
Yeah,
place to that place.
yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Movement is important.
Yeah, moment. So more active in the school only, right? Child should be.
No, you. The question was whether the children are active or passive in the tuition
Yeah,
classes. They are passive.
yeah, yeah.
E- Even in the school environment, they are passive. I mean, it
Yeah.
depends. Some schools don't encourage passive learning. They encourage active learning where child is actively involved in the process of learning. Yeah.
So how is the teacher's role different in a school readiness program compared to a tuition class?
Teachers' role, when you come to teachers' role in a school readiness program, teachers acts as facilitators. Okay, they facilitate the learning to happen. While in the private tuition classes, they are more like instructors. They give instructions and the child is expected to follow, right? And the teacher in a school readiness program or anybody for that matter who is concerned about child's independence and lifelong learning, they will not spoon feed the child with anything. They will ignite the curiosity in the child and they want the child to explore and learn and implement it so that it remains in the with the child forever, right? The knowledge should not be limited to only examinations. So once the examination is over, that knowledge is also over, gone.
It's true.
So that doesn't happen. That should not happen. Yeah.
So, how does a school readiness program help children emotionally prepare for school compared to tuition classes?
See, emotionally, they need to reflect on their actions. and they need to be more aware of their emotions, what kind of emotions they are going through, what triggered those emotions, how they can cope up with those emotions. All these things they need to learn, right? See, suppose a child is showing anger, you cannot tell a child anger is bad and you should not show anger. The adult, teacher or parent, if if he or she is a matured adult, then they we should not react when the child shows anger. They need to accept that okay, the child is angry now, and help the child to understand that they are going through a phase called anger. Name the emotion. Yes, now you are going through anger. You are angry now. So let us see how long it is going to stay.
Yeah,
And if you react to it, I don't think the anger will subside. It will only increase, right? So let it pass. Okay. See how you can cope up with that emotion.
so
Do
we have to
something
sit
else.
with them and talk with them. We have to find the
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, well, most important thing, you don't get angry. The adult, the teacher or the parent should not get angry when the child is angry. Be calm. So
Yeah,
that will inspire the child. That will
yes,
give lot of strength to the child to overcome that anger.
it's true.
Yeah, so I think yes, this is how we need to prepare children emotionally. There is no, what can I say? There is no medicine to prepare a child emotionally.
Yeah, it's
So it
true.
has to be, like role modeling. You need to be emotionally mature.
Strong
Only
and
then you
mature.
can strong and mature so that you can help the child to become emotionally strong and mature.
Yeah, it's true. Do school readiness programs cater to diverse learning styles and developmental levels? How are private tuitions flexible to individual developmental differences?
So do school readiness program cater to diverse learning styles and developmental levels? So it's your first question, right? So
Yeah,
yes, they do cater to diverse learning styles. So all children don't have the same kind of learning style. Some children learn through play, some children learn through books, some children learn through activities, some children learn through visual media, by watching movies, maybe listening
YouTube
to stories.
channels.
Yeah. So there are different ways a child learns. So we need to observe what motivates the child, what interests the child, what kind of learning. Some may learn a concept while playing a game. Some may learn concept in the classroom while listening to a lecture. So it's like that. So you need to see what suits the child best. So observation is the key. So that is I think that is how we have to observe the diverse learning styles and cater to them and provide suitable intervention so that the child is uh, has picked up that skill. And I don't think the private tuition classes are flexible to individual developmental differences. Um, yeah, I, I don't, they have time to do all this observation and see what their learning style is and what suitable approach can be followed. I don't think they do that.
So, who can observe all these things actually? Like Rakesh, like is a teacher can observe or a parent can observe? The
Yeah, if it's a school environment, then the teacher has to observe. If it's the home environment, then the parent has to observe and see what their learning styles, what the child's learning styles.
Do you think is these conditions are like sorry? Do you think all these parents and teachers are observing each child in that way, actually emotionally or in whatever the studies and all these things?
See, when we go through our teachers' training, this observation is there, as part of our training. We are supposed to do observation. Even the comprehensive evaluation, continuous comprehensive evaluation, was designed with this intention. The teacher should observe, teacher should only be a facilitator, But I think we are very smart to manipulate things in our favor and even use CCE to disadvantage of the child,
Yes, it's true.
right? Because observation takes a lot of patience. You need to be very patient and observant. You have to pay attention, and we always take the least resistance path, right? We want things to be very easy. So easy thing is just dump the information and finish the curriculum.
It's true. Nowadays, parents want only marks. That's it. I think so. They don't have time to observe the children.
Yeah, very sad.
In your opinion, can private tuition replace a school readiness program? Why or why not?
So I want to ask this question to you after our discussion. I mean, after discussing the differences between a school readiness program and private tuition classes, do you think a private tuition class can ever replace school readiness program?
No, no. School readiness, no. Private tuition can't.
Replace, right?
Replace.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Because in a school readiness program, we emphasize on overall development. So not just academic development. And the goal is not passing some exam with good marks. The goal is lifelong learning.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So it can never replace. Private tuition classes can never replace the school readiness program. So if a child is having academic pressure, the child is not performing well in academics, the child is not wanting to go to school, the child is not feeling comfortable, child is expressing worries, doubts, fears, then I think the child could be in any grade, whether in first grade or third grade, fifth grade, any grade. If the child is facing these issues, you need to see what is the problem, how we can solve this problem. By sending a child to a private tuition class after school, you're making things worse for the child. The child is going through stress, and you are sending the child to a more stressful environment. And I think ultimately the child doesn't want to go to school anymore or develops hate towards learning so much that the child doesn't want to do learning at all.
Yeah,
I have
that's
seen many children in 10th grade, ninth grade who don't want to go to school, who don't want to write exams
yeah.
because there's so much pressure and there's so much fear in them that even if they think even if they go and write the exam, they will not pass the exam. So because of that fear, they don't want to go to school or write exams as well. We don't have to make it difficult for the child, right? I think it's always better to seek remedial classes or the school readiness program, which will help the child to become ready for the school. So don't depend on this private tuition classes, is what I want to say.
Okay. I have a doubt. So, at what age we can start this school readiness program? Like before going to school or in the school, we can start
See,
this.
suppose a child is homeschooled till 6 years, and you are trying to send the child to a formal kind of a setup, like a school environment. Then I think that is the time, like 5 years, 5.5 years, you need to start preparing the child so that the child smoothly transitions to this structured environment. You need to, if you're raising the child at home, doing homeschooling, you can set up a few, routines for a child. This is the time you will wake up. This is the time you will brush your teeth. This is the time you'll have your breakfast, bath, and this is the time you will read. This is the
Right,
time.
and this time is reading
I mean,
everything.
you should give that option for the child initially. When do you want to write? At what time do you want to read? Or when do you want to listen to a story? Uh, Make timetable. Keep it flexible. Of course, in the school you don't have that luxury of keeping it flexible, but initially when you start off, you can keep it flexible. All the structure you can introduce to the child uh, gradually.
Okay. Long-term impact of school readiness program.
So as I said, I think it's lifelong learning. That is the long-term impact. We
Okay.
want the child to be independent and lifelong learner. So I think we need to invest, our time and efforts, uh, so that the child becomes independent and lifelong learner. That should be the goal of schooling or education.
So, Rakesh, are you teaching these school readiness programs on online?
Uh, no, not yet, but we could plan. I can guide parents or even teachers if they're interested, how they can, implement the school readiness program in their school or at home. So we can, yeah,
No.
work it out.
Not for children?
No, not for children. No, for children, we don't do online because I don't believe in the effectiveness of it.
No,
Um,
not exactly like small children, like elder children, like fifth, sixth grade childrens like that. So
yeah, see, I always believe in connections, making
yeah.
connections. So I don't know how effective it is in through online to make these connections. Uh, I don't know. I'm not sure. I always prefer that the teacher or the parent around the child is involved.
Mm. So okay, now where are you doing all these school readiness programs in Bangalore? Can we know the place?
Yeah, I live in Yelahanka, Newtown. So
Okay.
this is the place where I'm doing this program right now.
Okay.
So I'm doing this for grade 1 to grade 9 children. Any child, any student who is facing difficulties at school, they're welcome here at the center and become ready for the school
All
in every
Elanka
way.
people so ready to meet Rakesh. If
Yeah,
your children
thank you.
have any problem, so you can contact Rakesh, okay?
Thank you. Thank you,
Hmm.
Neeraja.
Okay, Rakesh, thank you a lot. So we can connect at one more time in another discussion. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Neeraja. It was nice talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, bye, Rakesh.
Bye.